welcome back to the 2018 Academy League. Yeah, that means you. TSM is up next, taking on FlyQuest Academy in our fourth game of the afternoon. And while TSM are certainly within reach of a top 4 finish spot in playoffs, it will be a tough road to get there.
Yeah, right now TSM Academy are only 1 win behind a tie for 4th place, but they have a gauntlet ahead of them, starting with FlyQuest today, followed by Cloud9 and Team Liquid next week. So this will be a good test to determine if TSM can make a playoffs run, because if you can't beat them here, you won't be beating them in the postseason. So it's kind of like prove your spot.
Absolutely, that's going to be difficult. Dire straits for TSM, but not so much on the side of FlyQuest. They're in a similar position to Cloud9, where a win here will likely guarantee a spot in playoffs.
Yeah, today's win would not give them the magic number that they need to solidify it to advance in the postseason, but it will give them a lot of breathing room. So FlyQuest deserves to be at the top of the standings. Not only are they super consistent across the board, but they aren't afraid to take chances and innovate.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of teams using Banner of Command yesterday, and some teams today starting to copy that, but no one committed to it quite as hard as early as FlyQuest did, running Cho'Gath, Nunu, Azir super early, Baron control, team comp, along with having a total of 3 Banner commands. So you heard a similar thing earlier in the day come out of Clutch Gaming, who were like, yeah, we weren't ready for that.
Not ready for it at all. Let's get into the roster rundown and see what these teams are ready for as we get into game. On the blue side, it will be TSM Academy. That means it's Brandini in the top lane, Greg roaming around in the jungle, Ablaze Olive in mid, Mr. Rawley's at bot with Shady, his shadow at support.
And loading in on the red side will be FlyQuest Academy. In the top lane, no Shrimp Jungle. Mid lane, Keen, Airy, and JJ in the bot lane.
No Shrimp Jungle?
No Shrimp Jungle.
There's no Shrimp Jungle?
No.
We'll see how these guys do. FlyQuest feeling pretty good about situations. A few ins and outs with players that are back in the academy, but out. Doesn't seem to affect them too much.
And I would like to see how they kind of play this game out, because we said that they were one of the teams going for that crazy tank-heavy, banner command-focused team. And then we've seen a couple games that were completely lane-focused. So I'll be interested to see if these teams have adapted since then. Maybe they overcorrect and say, yeah, tanks are broken, then they get hard countered and then lane. Have to see how it goes, and TSM will be looking to bounce back after their loss yesterday.
Camille and Nunu as the junglers get hit up. Might see a Zac in this game also as well. With less vision, you get maybe a little distance. Not the greatest pick, but may have a little more room to get those slingshots in.
I am surprised to see Zac seemingly dropping in priority despite not that many changes coming in the jungle. Okay, Sejuani's still number 2.
Right.
Skarner's number 1. I'm surprised Zac isn't seeing a little bit more play. People are going for a lot more aggressive champions like Rek'Sai and Kha'Zix now.
Getting that damage in. You got Cho'Gath getting locked out. We just saw him last game in the top lane. Ryman is twisting up my tongue. Azir away from Ablaze Olive. We know is that him and Keen, one of their wheelhouse picks. So we'll just get that off the rip now.
And I think Keen has shown a little bit deeper of a champion pool thus far in Academy.
For
so
sure.
Understandable to take away that a shared pick and shrink both pools, and hopefully Keen has more options later on in the game.
Cold pool. Galio on the side of TSM. He's going to get banned out, and one final ban here for FlyQuest Academy.
Sion, please, but who knows? If you're not playing at mid lane right now, you're out of the loop. Stuff's broken.
Oh, man, yeah, if they don't ban Sion here, you're just asking for trouble. At least a lane loss, right? What can you mostly do against? He just yells at you. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, he's literally the champion designed, or not maybe designed to do this, but currently just doesn't lose lane. And then he's a bully, and now he actually makes a lot of sense in team comps and can snowball, apparently. So
ban rate's about to go up for him, as well as win rate whenever he's in there. Brandini locked in. That's going to be Griggs Skarner. They don't show too much to start things off on the side of TSM.
Have to see, like we're talking about with all the red side bans, maybe Sion just becomes that, because he's too dangerous to leave up.
That's your Zoe.
Yeah, it's your Zoe now. GP seemingly off the meta as well, so maybe there's still a little bit more flexibility on red side bans, but I can easily see a world where Sion is first pick, first ban status, and flexed around to multiple positions.
All right, Skarner headbutt is a thing. Eve is still there. We see that getting banned away from a few, but he has his pick of the litter right now. Really not too many junglers got hit throughout that first ban phase.
He's showing a lot of carries, but I feel like there's a, I was about to say, he's showing Kha'Zix, Lee, Nidalee, like, look at all this stuff I can play. Sejuani.
On this account.
Yeah.
This is on the account.
It's all unlocked.
Yep.
But I will not pick any.
I remember back in the day when players would do that too much. They'd like work, like, stop switching. Don't switch. Don't do that. They'd love to. Be like, I can't select my champion. Be like, you wonder why? You borked it. Grig looking to lock in the Rise here for Blaze Olive. They say mid's fine. They've banned the Azir. We'll take an easy blind pick.
And as much as we've been talking about, I wonder what's good in the mid lane now. Maybe Cassio's not good because even though she uses all the items, well, meta's too fast. Well, Rise does spike a little bit easier. You know, even pre-6, he can set up ganks and make plays. And then you don't need to go the full crazy mana stacking build. You can actually go a lot of directions with him. So we'll have to see. Also, the Gnar pick coming in traditionally doesn't build Banner of Command. Goes for more split push focus items for a personal advantage that they go for. But maybe nowadays there's a different build on Gnar. And as much as we talk about Cassio maybe not being the meta that well, it is still one of Keen's best champions. So
easy peasy. I mean, a lot of the mid laners are kind of saying, hey, it'll be really fun to play champions like this again. So maybe it falls into one of those that because they like to play it so much, it still just slots in. I mean, you sometimes get that. Not a lot of players to kind of bend that rule.
No, I mean, Keen wants to play that champion. It's funny because when his career started, he was like the crazy guy who was picking Hecarim mid and stuff.
Yeah.
And since then, he's really kind of calmed down, I guess is what you would say. And it's like, all right, you'll play Azir, you'll play Cassio. You like Ori? Great. How about some Ori?
Get some Ari back in the mix. Just love watching Ari play. Tom Kench on the ban list. Not going to get any denies for the kills here. What's it going to be?
Have to see. Tom Kench is interesting. Okay in Skarner, but that's about it really for TSM Academy.
Yeah.
Comp, more of just a power pick away. And they have mismatched the top laners, but not actually going to ban out any tops, instead going for the 80 carries, which neither person has. A little surprising on the side of TSM.
Just thinking of how different all the bans have become so recently. Start off with all these Callistas and 80 carries, and now there's hardly any 80 carries until second because such priority is changing with these items and whatnot.
It's so different from the meta you see back in the day. I mean, FlyQuest here actually kind of going back to the older days where you were hiding picks because there weren't that many power picks, so it was much more about not giving away information. So you pick things like support and jungle first. But what we've seen a lot of thus far into the season is take your Azir, take your Ezreal, take all the stuff early on. Just
take it.
Take it. It's too strong.
Braum, Ornn, 2 more tanks taken out of the game. Or tanky people. As Airy now to lock in what would be a top or bot lane carry.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the AD taken earlier on here. It's a little scary because TSM hasn't shown anything from their bot lane, so they could get double counter picked. And with that in mind, they just take the Maokai into Gnar.
All right, Raleigh and Shady. Raleigh has been going on that Kog'Maw train, trying to kind of be a carry for the team. Been able to play even in TSM, or play well even in TSM's losses, but yesterday wasn't able to get that result. He's going to go back to the Kog'Maw possibly here, looking to hover at 5 seconds left.
Yeah, Kog'Maw, like we said, got a little buff on this patch, back up from 5 to 6. With how Ginsu's works as a first item, that's actually a bigger buff than you thought, because instead of going from 7 to 5, when you have the Ginsu's passive up, you actually went from 14 to 10% max HP, which is a pretty substantial nerf. So now that's back up to 12%. Mr. Raleigh feels comfortable picking that champion again. Also getting the Taric to deny the engage from FlyQuest. They don't have a very bursty team comp. They have a ton of engage, which is scary for a Kog'Maw, but it's not particularly explosive engage.
Right. They got the peel with a slight bit of protection on the heal, and Dazzle seems like it would be enough to keep him alive in something like this. Cassiopeia stays on her back line. Also, the initiation from TSM Academy has to be a little worrisome. Going to be counter-ulted by Keen, so they have to be careful of what they choose to initiate on. See both teams here, 6 and 7. TSM Academy is FlyQuest Academy 10 and 3. Looking to continue to solidify that position at the top of the table.
Yeah, both teams kind of going for more standard team comps. Party's over, no more fun, no more crazy counter picks. Just pick a lot of tanks and engage with 2 hyper-scaling AD carries and see how it goes. 2 scaling mid laners as well. Just be interesting to see how it goes. TSM have a little bit more early game focus with Kog'Maw spiking much better on one item and the Gnar winning up on the top side. So FlyQuest here, despite having all the engage, might be a little bit more on the back foot in the laning phase.
And what does TSM do as we continue to move to these faster games, if that really comes to a thing? They all run Gathering Storm all the time. What happens?
Main roster TSM.
Well, that's true. Sometimes on the Academy, but not as much. You are right.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder what will happen once this meta settles a little more, because I still like what I heard out of Viper.
Oh,
Or excuse me, Hard. When
Hard,
he
yeah.
was saying maybe our laners are just better, but I do think priority is one of the more important things you can get in the laning phase.
For sure.
And what's nice about that is if priority becomes really important, you start seeing a lot weirder picks because, hey, they win the matchup at least, and then you get more fun than this standard.
You get much fun.
Much fun. I love fun.
Shady, making sure nobody's stealing any spires. 3 minion dematerializers to start. 2 for TSM.
Yeah, it didn't really play a huge factor in the game that just occurred because it ended so quickly. But I don't think that makes it any less important. In a more stable laning phase, a stable game like this one might play a larger factor.
Oh. Cashing in.
The Skarner minigame commences. Collecting the spires. They got 3 of them. They're going to win.
Huh. I like that. Kind of holding the damage there, allowing No to take most of it. Going to get Shrimp through nice and healthy as we have the E and the Qs being hit up here by Greg to get himself through faster on the exoskeleton rush. Red to blue as he begins his jungle.
It seems like a lot more Sejuanis are opting for that aftershock after the buff, which then means no fleet footwork. People are trying to help the Sejuani in the early clears. And it also means that you can then take domination, which means zombie wards. So overall, I do like this rune choice more than the fleet footwork, which was cool. And I liked what it was trying to do, but hard to argue against the effectiveness of the buffed up aftershock.
You just got to stack ice on ice and go like glacial or something, man. You just kind of run like a weird standard tree. You just hit somebody, you're cold. I hit you again, you're even more cold. See Krugs to blue as see a lot of these Skarners going after the quick scuttle before they head back into the jungle. Levi just actually did the same thing last game as well. Just quick speed.
Yeah, well, usually what they do is they have their laner grab the spire for them beforehand. So
good to go.
When you clear up there, it's already set up. Makes you do the scuttle crab a little easier. Take that one down. Also, don't necessarily need to give away that you've taken the spire.
That's a really big point.
Yeah. It's already under your control, so you don't need to be like, hello, this objective is now mine. Looks like he is going to get spotted out either way, though. Oh, vision coned it. So there he goes. Going to clear away that little ward. And the zombie ward takes its place.
They begin. The plague starts early. He's going to head towards top side. No more cone to go over the wall. It makes me so sad because I still expect to see it every time I go up. I'm like, I'm just going to blast cone into Krugs. Not there, baby. Not there. Shrimp coming here. It looks like this could get a little scary. That was an empowered sapling coming out of the brush. Gets a little bit more damage. A good slow. Greg looking to take the fight. 2 double stun there. Gets himself over the wall to help Brandini. And he actually may deliver him a kill if Brandini can get a few more locks down. No, the W and the E coming in from Shrimp hit true. There's the Arctic Assault over the wall with the flash to solidify first blood.
Really nice path by Shrimp there. They know that he's up on the top side of the map. He clears the ward by Grig, but then that telegraphs him going up to the top side and collapsing onto the Krug. So Shrimp, instead of going for a mirrored path and falling behind the Skarner, which tends to happen if he went for his own Krug clear, as Keen might get a solo kill. Not going to happen. So instead of going for a mirrored clear, mirrored path, Shrimp breaks back up to the top side, wraps around the long way, and allows Maokai with that CC to start this fight off. So he's able to collapse and get this kill. I like how TSM played it, but they're just so far on the wrong side of the map, and they get the jump on Griggs, so they can't actually fight this 2v2, which, all things considered, Gnar and Skarner are probably stronger at this point in the game. It just starts too lopsided for them. So they're able to get Griggs flash, and then you see Brandini caught out, trying to trade 1-for-1 as best he can, not able to do so, tries the late flash out. Shrimp follows. Just intelligent play to get themselves an advantage on the top side of the map.
Got the thick wall flash too, put him on the same side of the wall. I like the double stun by Greg on the way out, but I think it almost baited Brandini into thinking he could kill No as well in this situation. It's always that last second decision.
And the double aftershock playing an important factor there as well. Fleet footwork and Predator not doing a ton in a fight like that.
And not a completed item for Greg either. He kind of still pieces together that skirmisher saber as he makes his way to getting an item. Or chilling smite, either or.
We'll have
what
see.
have you.
Feels like skirmishers is just generally considered the superior item. does make it so you win any jungle skirmish you get into.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Seems like it's in the name.
Whoa. Missed that one. Might think that brush is clear when it's not.
Super close. Just a quick smash. He's going to have the pressure. 2 visions, or 2 pink wars, I should say, in the river. So they are going to want to take this fight if he jumps just straight down. They have a lot of front-end damage if they can follow it up. He gets the E to connect within range, but there's the damage now. It's a split fight, and that damage goes to Brandini in the 1v1 with Shrimp. They know it, and they need to retreat. What a turnaround. Can they get the kill?
Oh.
The spike misses, and they do not pick one up.
Just take a little too long to kick that fight off, giving Rig time to get in range, and then one barely missed ability.
Imagine how good that would feel to turn around a fight like that after you just lost that fight, too. Oh, what an opportunity.
Would have been pretty nice. Unfortunately, does not work out, but you get the flash, you survive up in the top lane, and help stabilize that matchup a fair amount, because while they did lose a kill up in there, they have a massive CS advantage on that Gnar, 20 CS already. Woo. Alistar was seen.
He'll be quite a big Gnar once he gets himself in a position. Also has the wards they continue to place, still keeping him safe as he pushes up to the turret. Get back from him. Easy long walk as teleport is down for both top laners at this time. And these crazy spell books, no, just rise. So that one may change.
Yeah, spellbook feeling like getting used less and less. In the top lane, it was previously taken mostly. In matchups where knew not much was going to happen.
There's like a week of the tricksters in the bot lane doing double TPs.
Yeah, you might still see some of that. I think, you know, Ornn still takes it.
Yep,
and
yeah, saw that last game.
Yeah, I wouldn't
wouldn't
be surprised to see that, but generally speaking, feels like it's become mostly a mid lane summoner at this point.
Tiers are stacking. Looks like TSM will keep things nice and quiet for the time being. Griggs on the bot side of the map, letting everybody know to stay safe here. It doesn't look like he's going to go for bot side. He just wants to keep farming it out.
Might be one of those situations where so much early skirmishing on the top side kind of sobers teams up a little bit, and they start playing safer. Because both teams, like we said, are fine going into the late game, and they might not want to risk any early game snowball. But they have to be careful because bot lane is not going, or excuse me, top lane is not going that well for FlyQuest.
4 in Q, 1-1-1 for Brandini. So not looking to do anything crazy, just getting the Q level for wave clear. Keep throwing the drill at no, making sure that damage sticks. Shrimp probably hovering top to mid side a little bit more now as Ari and JJ aren't having too much trouble on the bottom. And now they're trying to get a Spire fight here. This could be big. There is a push from Brandini on the top, and they catch the rotation. Beautifully done by FlyQuest to catch a Blaze Olive.
Surprised to see a Blaze Olive with that teleport at this stage in the game. Cleanse is very often seen early on, and then later you swap to the teleport when you start making map plays. Only 8:30 into the game. Doesn't have the summoner get out of that CC chain and goes down for it, as FlyQuest did a really good job reading that blue buff handoff coming.
Push in from Shrimp as well. That was a flash and petrifying gaze from Keen in the mid, so he's got to be careful about a bit of retaliation here. Shrimp and Grig, he is a fast Skarner right now. He's trying to get his sting in onto Shrimp. Not going to happen. They are going to get a little bit of control. Nice to blow the flash onto Shrimp. That definitely will help a bit on his engage.
I was a little bit surprised to see how Grig played that one. Could have just ran up into auto range and held your E, kind of like what we saw Levi do in the previous game.
Force that first.
Yeah, and instead it was a very easy side set for Shrimp. They still get the flash off because the Blaze Olive had that inside track, but might have been able to turn that into a kill, or have a higher chance of turning into a kill, at least if he held the E a little bit longer there.
Shrimp focusing down towards the bot side. He says, Grig top, Mountain Drake is up. If we can get more lane priority on both that bot and mid lane, it's ours, and it will be the rotation from a Blaze Olives. He sees the play happening, and he says, we're going to commit to something, but Keen's leaving. Should be all right. A Blaze Olive coming back down. This could change things up.
I mean, they did ping onto the
be
bot side river. Feels like TSM Academy maybe should have stuck around for that dive up in the top lane. If you can't contest this dragon, at least get something on the flip side of the map. But they're going to back away from that one.
Good pick up. Mount in here. No, be able to do a little work on the top side, staying safe as the rest of the team can start to control the map now on the bottom. And this will actually help take those objectives even quicker.
Yeah, it's nice that they're posturing a dive, but they actually need to get in there and get some chip damage onto this turret.
Kind of rethunk it and went back up.
Here we see No trying to get them off the turret, engaging. Keen is collapsing as well as Airy, or JJ, excuse me.
Great dodge by TSM to get behind the first Nature's Grass, so it didn't lock them all down. They had the ability to move freely. JJ's coming in just behind. He is seen by the minions. Realm Warp, don't get baited into it. Oh, Klein and Sinker.
Oh, God, Riv, you called it. Complete bait by Blaze Olive there. Gets his jungler killed. I mean, it's hard to fault a Blaze Olive for that one. You should know that you can't turn around into Cassiopeia. Oh, big mistake by Greg. Lets him go down. Now 3-0 and potentially a Rift Herald up on the top side.
Good miasma. The fight's coming in. He wants to turn around to fight it and try and get a little more back for himself. Flashes and then he goes down. The Fumble Rooskies are everywhere right now for TSM Academy.
Yeah, they're just not playing super clean. As hold on, No. Whoop.
Trying to get something back. Just missing on that stomp and wallop. He gets the flash out, as you said. Things quiet down for a moment.
Hopefully. We'll see.
Hopefully. Rift Herald's going to go. Looks like they'll be able to crush this one down. Not too shabby on that. So a little more control here for FlyQuest.
Yeah, that flash by a Blaze Olive, if you're going to have to flash in that situation, which he's going to have to, flash the Q so he can't get the E bonus damage follow-ups. Anyways, this fight starts poorly with Grig, like we said, getting baited. We're lucky, actually, that Brandini didn't get stunned up either, because he turned around to take it, too. Either way, they get one kill, and then a Blaze Olive gets spotted off on that zombie ward.
Oh.
Coming back around.
Took time for the Spire.
He's going to get the damage down.
Why is he turned back here?
I don't really know. I guess he thought he could flash out if the fight was going to go bad, but see, he just really underestimated how much threat he was under in that situation.
True. The last moment decisions. Just about 1.5K gold lead here for FlyQuest. Still anybody's game. Not too much map control, or I was going to say not too much turret damage, but yeah, there was work done by Brandini on that top lane when they actually brought up Grig for a bit. So possibility to stretch the map thin here, or I should say FlyQuest, if they can start moving Brandini around and kind of get Raleigh into a different lane. 129 to 123, so it'll be all right for them to switch out.
Yeah, that top lane lead, though, is largely negated by the mid lane lead for Keen.
True.
And you see TSM, or FlyQuest, knowing that TSM probably wants to get some people up there to finish off that top turret, are going to actually rotate early and drop Shelly up there, but instead they go mid.
Dun, 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 dun. The grab. Oh, he spins him around. Gets the flower specialist.
Yeah,
man.
I was about to say.
Beautiful.
What you want to see, you saw Keen use the cleanse, and that solo kill on a Blaze Olive means it's not up. TSM punish accordingly. FlyQuest were making that play on the top side already, so they grab that turret. No, looks like he's actually making his way to mid lane to protect that, leaving Mr. Rollins on the bot turret by himself. Actually, a whole collapse coming in.
It's a very early Nature's Grasp. It's creeping up. It's get to catch. Cosmic Radiance comes down. Shady goes up, and he goes back. They're going to miss on the rocket as it goes flying by. Blaze Olive says, 1v1 me, bro. He turns around as the fight just gets a few more members from FlyQuest in that situation. Bots taken down for the troubles in mid, but what can FlyQuest work off of this?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to work on the mid lane
Watch
turret.
that tanking.
Yep, Nose holding the turret aggro, keeping the minions alive. Airy on the Jinx, able to do a ton of damage to this mid lane turret. So I don't know where FlyQuest is going to grab a turret advantage.
Topside should fall. Brandini will make quick work of that if he can just hold on. A few more hits.
He should get there.
Give it a quick huff and a puff and blow this turret down. A few more shots. Solo gold for him as he's done a lot of that work with just a few bits of help from Greg. Found a win in that lane for the team. But like you said, Keen with a bit of roaming. This game has been all over the place for just 14 minutes. He's picked himself up 2 of the 5 kills on the map and a good bit of CS.
And so here's that play in the mid lane. No collapse from the bot side. Didn't want to hold the turret versus Kog'Maw, so tries to start this fight off from the top lane, which was collapsing after taking the turret. They really weren't able to pick on exactly the members they want to, have to kind of settle for Shady there. And they get that 1 kill, but they did enough to set up that mid lane push. So they'll grab that turret. But all things considered, this isn't that terrible of a spot to be in for TSM. They want the lead at this point in the game, obviously, but 1,000 gold is not that substantial, especially when you consider that they spike a little harder on one item. The Abyssal Mask compared to the Seraphs, or Archangels at this point, for Cassio, as well as the Ginsus versus the IE, means that in a 5v5, it probably still favors TSM a little bit here, depending on how the fight starts.
Lots of love for the bot side of the map. Just a minute for Ocean Drake to come up. Says, yeah, we may want a little bit of that. Could force a fight. And we feel like we're stronger if that's the case. A little bit of a rotation here for Scuttle Control for Brandini as he finishes a Gnar out. Starts to head back to lane. Everybody's just kind of calming down, looking for a mistake, but mostly setting up that vision that we're oh so missing from trackers. Look at all the wards instead of sweepers still out on the map here.
It's especially worth noting with the turrets broken in some of these side lanes already.
Yeah.
A lot of fights.
Oh, double petrifying gaze, a triple. As Raleigh gets hit up, the Cathian Surprise going to do a bit of damage here across 3 members of the team. Keen going down as he's in the middle of the fight. Ablaze finds his target. How did he thread those Qs through? He'll finally go down. They lose a bit of map control here, even though they took down Keen. Grig be in trouble, but he's going to find a blast cone.
Yeah, less vision is exactly what you were just highlighting. So TSM had no idea that they were face checking Keen in the mid lane. Starts out well. He kind of gives his life up to get those kills. And I was talking about power spikes just a moment ago, how it was still good for FlyQuest. Well, maybe not anymore. Keen finishes his Leandries and his Seraphs transforms. And here's this fight again. Just a flash ult onto 3. They appropriately identify Mr. Ralles as the first target to kill. The other 2 are just tanks. Blaze Olive teleports in to finish Keen off, but that's all he can really do and has to trade his own life to do so.
Flash forward to get that kill as well. So it's like, I need to greed so I can get this little bit, but it's only going to hurt me in the future if I can't stay safe. So it only kind of, you're just putting that weight on yourself. The pressure is much, much more. There's a cleanse there for Greg. He throws in a quick Silver Sash very early at 2-0-4 so he can continue the plays or at least get out of a bad one.
Yeah, there's one member of FlyQuest paying the Skarner tax. Keen, instead confident with his own mechanics to stay alive. It is kind of hard to play Skarner into a Cassio because as you charge forward, gotta get ready for the ult, gotta get ready for the miasma. So it is a little difficult, but I wouldn't mind Keen with how strong he is picking up the QSS pretty soon.
Makes him pretty much untargetable at that point. Cleanse the QSS. Who wants any of that? Not a Skarner. He's got to find a different target. Aerie could be a possibility. He's saved by JJ, though, that Alistar, the first pickup for FlyQuest Academy and Champion Select after seeing the Skarner, saying, no, you'll be peeled from my AD carry. So far, he hasn't been able to get too close.
So Keen is going for that kind of tankier Cassio build that we were talking about with that Leandries. Has that true damage burn. Oh, hold on here.
Boom! But is it a dazzle they want to take? Teleport from both sides. They get a Blaze Olive. What a cleanse on him! Holy crap, fast fingers. He gets himself dead to rights, though, as they continue that damage. Keen getting himself to safety. Brandini, a great sweep into the wall, but can the team follow up? It actually put FlyQuest in a spot where they can fight over the wall. Fight without taking as much damage. The zap comes through, but it's a kill before, and Aerie is getting excited. They can't chase with the flash from Grig, but what a turnaround. Also losing 2 members.
Fight explodes in the mid lane. 3 for 2 still favors FlyQuest, plus Aerie is perfectly healthy.
Yeah.
Mr. Raleigh is going to try and defend this turret by his own, but it's a little dangerous against Keen.
That boy dude's out there. Wow.
And there's a bit of an over-focus by FlyQuest there onto Brandini. For a large portion of that fight, Brandini and Mr. Raleigh were stacked up on top of each other. You'll see it again here in a second, but it starts with the focus onto Keen. Grig's going to come in. We're talking about how this is not that easy to get off. He could have flash gone there, waits slightly too long, and as a result gets counter-engaged on. The TPs come in. Blaze Olive comes a little bit too far forward, so he's easy to focus down, and No finds an angle onto him after that teleport. And then from here, watch how often Mr. Raleigh and Brandini are going to be grouped up. They go for this big wall stun, and then Keen is still hitting him instead of moving forward a little bit onto Mr. Raleigh. They finally start focusing after getting that kill, and they get shady too. Not a horrible fight. Rewatching it again, actually fine target selection.
Yeah.
But Brandini almost was able to help win that fight with that big Gnar ultimate.
If it was just, like, Raleigh was just far on the bot side. He had so many targets he had to get away from. And almost saw that turn, too, when they started getting the kills on to Shrimp. TSM now towards the bot side of the map. Start to deny and put up their own vision. We still see a lot of those warding trinkets. We usually be sweepers this time of the game. No knives.
Yeah, a little surprising not to see even Sejuani move over to the sweeper. I mean, you don't really need it pre-20 minutes as much as you need it now that your Baron is something you need division control for. It's really hard to do with only one sweeper. So hopefully we see Shrimp move over in a second, because they do have the damage to take it now. 2 items on the Jinx. The Cassiopeia is massive at 7-2 and 1. Finish a Void Staff, which you need to get earlier on now that Leandri's doesn't have the Magic Pen component anymore. It has that
madness.
You get madness, scaling damage the longer you're in combat.
Yes.
Up to 10% bonus damage.
10%. It's cool on brand because people just burn with the blaze. Feels good. It doesn't do as much as you think. Not until they're big and tanky. Kind of like these guys over here on Brandini. Grig's not the biggest tank, but still they'll fall fast under this damage from Keen. 8 kills to his name, 11 on the board. That participation from him and Shrimp, that combination we always see. Shrimp himself with 9 of those, 2 and 7 there. Really, really active this game.
Right, they're definitely the linchpins of this FlyQuest Academy roster, but you have to give your credit to the bot and top laners. I mean, there was that crazy action early on. No has mostly stabilized, going to 1-1 and 5.
No had a lot of friends in the top lane to start things off.
Yeah, and that's what allows their mid lane to play so aggressive.
Ooh, that does not look good for Brandini. The Gnar does not want to start the fight dead. And Shrimp picks that one up. That was the Glacial Prison used to secure and make for sure that kill was going down. And now, what is the play here? Grig says those ults are down. Can we get in? They still have Petrifying Gaze as a counter, and they may look to just take the fight.
Yeah, they're going to start this one off. Grig has no flasher. They've been tracking that. They'll know. We'll see if they can get the turn off here, but it is very dangerous. It is only Brandini down.
Grig putting himself in position. He's close enough to smite. 1,000 onto Baron. They're probably around 700 to 800 damage here on the smite as it gets down. Oh, it's going to go to Grig with the early smites coming in, and the focus just on the fight.
That was a weird decision by FlyQuest there. They peeled off the Baron. They stopped Grig from moving forward. He had the Taric ultimate on him, so they couldn't kill him. But they could have just left both him and the Baron untouched until he came out and then finished him off.
That's huge.
Strangely enough, FlyQuest turned back on the Baron, damaged it enough for Grig to actually get the smite off. I don't know why they felt they had to start hitting the Baron again. They could have waited for the state of the invulnerability of the Taric ultimate to wear off.
22 HP is where that sucker was before it got knocked down. And Grig threw the shield on, found a shield from Shady, anything to keep him alive long enough to hope, like you said, they would just keep hitting the Baron.
We'll take another look at that. So, you see Grig, he gets invulnerable here, but the Baron's at 1,000 HP. It's ticking down slowly, but just leave it. Don't go back and hit it. But Shrimp turns around. You're going to see him start panicking and starts hitting the Baron again, which drops it into smite range. He smites early, and I don't even know if... Yeah, it was actually a Grig who smote it. Shrimp never smote anything, and then I think it was his just AoE burn actually took the last hit of it.
Crazy
Maybe it was
stuff.
a Q. It was hard to tell, but it didn't look like a very concerted attack on the Baron. Feels like they could have ignored that one. I'm not quite sure why Shrimp threw that extra damage into it.
I thought it was easily the fight. They were already engaged in it. A very interesting choice, thinking that your opponent at this level of play would lose focus on such a big objective. They move their way to Ocean Drake, though, try to wash that away. Put it on the backside. They have to deal with a Baron up TSM now, who's kind of coming from behind in the situation, but feels good about getting these lanes back in their favor.
And it's worth noting, no banners either.
No banners.
While the Baron is still a bit of a catastrophe to lose in terms of just the global gold it instantly gives and the power they have for the next minute and a half remaining, at the very least, there's no monster siege minion destroying your turrets.
That's Adaptive Helm now. 3 of them on the board, 2 for TSM here to deny that damage as they dive onto Keen. A few hits from No. Brandini. Not decent damage. That fight would go on for quite a while here, and he can get under the turret for safety. Still an unkilled Airy being protected on the back line, something FlyQuest can easily use if they lose Keen in these fights to keep it steady.
Yeah, lots of backline threat for both teams. We really want to get on both them. More important, probably get Mr. Rales, all things considered, for the side of FlyQuest when they engage, but they've done a good job of finding pickoffs all game long. Massive kill advantage in their favor. Fortunately, the gold lead not mirroring that.
Looks like JJ's getting ready to show everybody his banners, his good banners. Very nice gentleman. Got the Aegis already. It's funny, you see one and you're like, oh, banner. Lock it? Nah.
Who knows lock it anymore?
What is that?
That's so yesterday.
Right? Just, what? Not gonna be.
It is surprising to see FlyQuest not having more banners. I guess they're not overbuying the hype of it, saying we need 3 of them on our 3 tanks. Only going for 1 on the support position.
Clears 299, just hitting that 300 custom mark for the CS. Keen's getting very, very big. There's the void staff we were talking about. It looks like it may be that Rabbit Noodles Death Cheeseburger next. Fantastic double rod build now. Can't get enough of it.
At some point, Blaze Olive will want a void staff, though, I'd assume. That, like we said, triple tanks is not that easily chewed through. And he definitely benefit from getting a little bit more pen in his build.
All right, map objective free. Infernal is one of the next Drakes with 4 to FlyQuest so far. Great control over the objectives. That vision has been just basically in their control the entirety of this map. But with TSM grabbing the Baron just a few minutes ago, Grig was able to help stall out the game for TSM Academy. And now they begin to get those finalized 3rd items in. Almost a Rabadon's death cap here for Blaze Olive. Could really start to change things up. He's on to cleanse, not teleport just yet. No split push kind of opportunity here unless Brandini's on duty.
Yeah, they had the Baron buff for a little bit, but didn't really do anything with it, just kind of stabilized the game. So don't need the TP to go for some crazy split push threat. It does feel like this game will be decided by a team fight, and flanking Rise TP is not going to be as important as a cleanse. True. So I do like the decision for the cleanse. FlyQuest working around this bottom river right now, starting to set up vision for when this dragon spawns. Still a little bit of ways, but never too early to start dropping them wards.
Baron on the top. Oh, I keep saying Baron. Banner on the top. Baron is always on the top. But you can see the minion used up. It looks like a Blaze Olive is going to have to take control of that. It'll go down quite slowly as JJ unleashes and the team heads bot side.
We definitely need a word as well for Baron Banner Siege minion, because that doesn't quite roll off the tongue for me. I don't know how you like it.
I don't know. Bruce Banner minion.
Ooh. I don't hate it.
We're onto something. We need some tweaking.
Yeah.
3K gold on the side of FlyQuest. And it looks like Keen split pushing bot by himself. Not the quickest turret taker, but at this point in the game, the AP autos are doing quite a bit of damage to the turret with the wave. So they slowly take things down. TSM is kind of giving them another chance to. They say we don't need to defend that. A little too scary. We have other things in mind with a Blaze Olive push top. Uh-oh. That was a Righteous Glory. That's something that FlyQuest actually wanted. TSM might need to be a little wary here. That's going to be the, Cosmic Radiance for the entire headbutt pulverize. JJ did not win in. He throws his ultimate down. Brandini and Shrimp just throwing back and forth. And there goes no flash into the fight, rather Twisted advance just to get himself into position. And Brandini goes down as they were very split to start things off.
Yeah, all over the place for that fight. Both front lines at different portions had ended up too far away from the rest of their team, but it's Brandini who gets too close to Keen, the largest threat in this game by a substantial margin, able to chew through the Nars health bar, and they get that 1 kill. Now they continue pushing with it.
Moving up, moving on to the base. It's going to be an inhibitor turret going down very quick here. Baron or not, like you said, that was just for TSM to level out the game. FlyQuest was also able to stall out what was happening during that Baron, so they push back as soon as it wears off, and they get something big with inhibitor in mid.
Baron up in 5 seconds. Also, the respawn occurs then too. Feels like FlyQuest have to be careful about over-recalling and giving up the Baron buff if TSM decide they want to pull the trigger. So intelligently, FlyQuest is going to go and make sure they sweep all these wards. Looked like they were unsure, and now they're just going to start it off.
These become such interesting fights. You kind of think JJ's ultimate's down. It's just to be about back up, so he can be a huge Alistar again if he needs to get Grig out. Baron's down.
He got it!
Oh my god, Grig got it again! You gotta be kidding me! He flashes into the pit! If they can take this fight, they'll be able to push right into the base. What they were doing before was setting up the minion waves. Those waves are now ready to be pushed. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Crazy play again by Grig. And you can see the panic kind of set in for FlyQuest. They didn't know what to do. They got pinned up against the back wall.
That's a heart dropper.
Keen dies. Massive shutdown on him. They also get the flashes out of area as well. So now they are in a massive power position here with Infernal Drake live as well. That's going to be going in their favor. Only one in the game, as the next dragon after they take this will be Elder. So TSM set themselves up very well to start getting an advantage here. Surprised to see Shady with the redemption instead of a block it. Anyways, taking a look at this fight, it's pretty telegraphed what's going to happen. JJ wants to time the headbutt as he comes in and just gets flashed out of. And that was just the most immaculate time flash smite I think you could possibly go for. No fat on that play. Gets the smite, gets the flash at the exact time he needs to. And then his team's just there cleaning up kills on Keen.
So many little things. You're not ready to be caught off guard. You have JJ on security. He's going to headbutt him out. Not a problem. Doesn't expect it to be that fast, and you cannot hit a blinking champion, and that's all that Greg needed. 2 times in a row. Greg might be 0, 2, and 3, but he has made the biggest impact plays for TSM Academy this game.
And you can definitely talk about smite steals being 50-50s in terms of who gets the smite, but at least playing around the other components that go into it was perfect by Greg. If you hover, if you don't go immediately for the flash over the wall, and you hover a moment too long, the headbutt comes in and actually knocks him out of the pit. So he timed that perfectly to give himself the chance to get the smite, and then, yeah, maybe at that point you can say it's a little lucky, but two times now, he's got the Baron.
He knows what he's doing at this point. They actually pushed hard in the fight. It's been back and forth, though. One team gets something, and then the other team pulls it right back. There's the bot lane for the AD carry. It's going to be Rawley's getting himself out safely. Greg's in there. They yank back the top lane, or actually that was Shrimp going down, and now Blaze Olive trying to get positioning. Exoskeleton from Greg, and he keeps himself alive. Brandini dodges out the zap. No, it is going to be a Blaze Olive finally falling. The cleanse doesn't keep him alive with the distance. And FlyQuest once again, what is this game? It turns on its head.
Huge bait brush on the left side. They are unseen by TSM Academy, and they kill Shady first, which all things considered is a fine target to go for. Stop him from getting the ultimate down to keep his whole team alive, which allows them to continue fighting afterwards. So not a horrible target to pick on. And it will stall out this Baron.
I love the play as well. Oh, we just went topside. Baron's down. You don't put vision topside. Well, that's where the team's coming from.
Right, and there you see Shady just too far forward. It maybe used a little too many resources. Maybe didn't need that Sejuani ult as well, but they get the kill on him right away. And then you see how quickly the tanks die in this game. No dies right after to Mr. Rawlez. And then Grig is going to pull in Shrimp for the second kill. And Grig, like you said, with that last second W, barely going to stay alive. Scuttle his way out of there, but so much burn damage from the poison, from the Leandries, finishing off a Blaze Olive, making it that 2 for 2 in the mid lane.
What is next? Who actually has Barons?
I think there's a couple members.
Yeah, at least
look like
one. I would have figured. I know Raleigh's kind of kept himself in the back of that fight. Shady down.
It looks like maybe the second Baron in the game that they're not actually really able to get anything off. They don't have a, you know what the real problem is? They don't have a, oh, they do have a banner of command now on Grig. So they
and just on Shady.
Just picked it up. Here we go. Baron's ramping up with damage. People are starting to get the,
where's he going? Use it.
Banners.
Not going to use it just yet. They're waiting. Oh, he says no. I like that call. If they see movement in the mid lane, he doesn't just banner top and have somebody come banner top. They're just like, they're going to clear this wave. Let's wait. Banner minion, bottom, that was used by Shady, and now they are good to go if they can keep this fight in some kind of a long form.
It's also worth considering when the major neutral objectives are up, just making sure your banner command's ready to go for that. You can drop it now, and it'll probably be up for Elder, but I understand wanting to make sure you have it for that. But FlyQuest are going to use their one on the top side to keep pushing this turret. 6-3 now.
Clear it out quite quick as they deny resources in the jungle on their way over and out. Slow build up in the bot side. You can see the ping. They're saying just be patient. They have to respect what's down there. And now they're going to start backing. I don't think they're going to be able to yo-yo any defense towards the mid side, but a heck of a lot of wards that FlyQuest has left that need to be cleared out on that top.
Yeah, a little surprised to see they went for the double bot strategy on it. They're just going to send the Jinx down there to deal with that. Yeah. All physical damage will have no problem chewing through those and then still be in a relatively good position to contest vision around the Elder Dragon. Maybe it would have been better to hold it off for the top lane. We'll have to see. Skarner's is still available, so we'll see where TSM uses their second banner minion.
Yeah, she's going to try to cut that wave early. Figured they'd look for a fight, possibly, knowing that Jinx is going to have time to clear that, but they say, we use this as our time as well. They're not going to want too much. The push from top lane slows down as Brandini doesn't have enough vision to get just past that river. So what's next? 1 minute and 12 seconds for Baron Elder. 52 seconds before that spawns.
Yeah, these are coming together at pretty close timing intervals. And I would have to imagine with the new Elder Dragon, how powerful the second one is. Maybe it's worth the down payment of a trade on the first. But then again, Baron's so strong now, I'm not quite sure what's the right macro decision to make.
But do you go for Baron as FlyQuest and give it to Grig, or do you just go for Elder Dragon?
That's true. Baron is now Grig's property. It's property of the Grig Club, so.
It's hard to get that this game. Very close, as you said, with these timers. It looks like it is the Elder Drake that draws the attention here, priority on the map. And that vision has to be moved a little bit by FlyQuest here. Righteous Glory is up for no. Could decide to go in on the fight, but he wants his target, and they want to make sure that Airy is not the target of Grig after that initiation.
Brandini's had a really nice timing on his Mega Gnar, has just enough to go Mega basically whenever he wants to. Oh, he propped it. Premature pop in there. Boom!
So it looks like they're going to fight it. They know Mega Gnar's there. They're going to force him into a fight as well. They hold. It's time to piss off the Elder Drake. It looks like they're going to start toying with him. He's going to do a lot of damage after this.
Yep,
Here comes the Blaze Olive. He's just a moment away. Can they get the taunt behind? Can they get anything? JJ's in first so they can secure the Elder Drake. That goes to Shrimp. The team now sizes each other up left and right in the river, and it's going to be Brandini down first. Shady gets hit with the zap. He's going to fall second. Double kill for Keen as he finally gets to sink his fangs into a 5v5.
And Grig is still alive though, Riv. It's a nice 2 kills that they found against TSM Academy, but they have to be ready.
That's all we needed. For the comms for TSM. 2 go down. Grig steals. 2 go down. Grig steals.
Doesn't look like
Blue 42.
Doesn't have the magic this
they
time.
pulled back. Didn't happen.
Nope, not going to be able to contest it. Not really a chance, to be fair. That thing died pretty quick. And that fight really did come down to the fact that Brandini kind of popped his Mega Gnar accidentally too soon. And then FlyQuest just waited it out. They didn't take the fight until it goes back into Mini Gnar. And then they focus down the Elder Dragon. They headbutt Grig away properly this time. You see they're willing to go in there. And then JJ just kind of holds them in place. Grig is now, or excuse me, Brandini wants to kite forward, but he gets hit by the Cassie ult into the Sejuani ult and just gets popped in mini form. They almost get no traded back because, like we said, tanks don't mean anything in this game compared to these carries. But they do get those 2 kills, and then they're able to go right to the Baron. So Elder Dragon Baron buff on with some Baron.
Yeah.
Or Banner, Baron. Super creeps. The Bruce Banner.
Branners.
The Branner minions.
Oh, man. We'll get it.
Something.
When all of the vocab comes from Academy, you know, it's going to be difficult casting.
Yeah, we need to have a meeting. Guys. Oh, they got 2 of them. I can't wait to see what this does.
By the way, we said this online. 18-7. And looks like it's going to do the big boom boom.
Oh, God.
Holy moly. The cavalry has arrived on the bot side of the map. And that is some big... See, that's what the PvE did in one shot. Capital L, little U, capital L, as they make their way into the base. 40 minutes coming up onto the clock here, and a 13,000 gold lead coming up. Very nicely done. Actually, just about 10. I'm sorry, man. This is hard.
There we go. They got 1 dematerializer proc. Shady was able to run forward and get that one.
Yeah.
And you get to see why the dematerializer is so important. If they didn't dematerialize that, they probably just lose the game. Like we saw what happened in the Team Liquid game. Just sit with those creeps. Dare them to engage on you, because that's the only way to get damage onto those minions, unless you do have those dematerializers. So basically saves the game for now, but still comes at the cost of 2 inhibs. They're resetting. They have another minute and a half on the Baron buff. Just going to go up on the top side and set this up again. The banner command is almost up, so you're going to see JJ kind of get in range, and they'll get another one up there.
Everything and anything. Item slots now to be filled with Irons of Elixir for Grig. Get himself a little bit bigger in what could be one of the final fights of the game. Gargoyle Stone Plates making FlyQuest huge in these fights as well. A few more Quicksilver Sashes or Banshee's Veils, if you will, on top of that cleanse. So it looks like he did decide to go right for that Quicksilver. He says, I'll just get a little more damage too.
Yeah,
why not?
Didn't buy it early.
Yeah.
Basically, like, you know what? I have a huge front line. If Skarner gets onto me,
That's
I
true.
messed up. So, you know what? I will not get this. And I'll focus on damage and make sure I kill their front line first.
That first shot, even with the heal, they want to go in. There's a good call by No. He says, I see Shrimp and Brandini coming in. We're both gonna go back at them. No, very low as he goes to the end of the world on this fight, and I don't think it was good for the team. Raleigh is now able to fire back as they throw the banner minion in there as well to say, get out of the base. Choppers go down. The Dragons look angry. Greg looks to route that. His ultimate is not up, so he's just looking to posture for position as the turret goes down.
Oh!
So does Brandini. Was not watching.
Got hit by that Jinx ultimate. You always gotta keep your eye out for that one. Trades 1-for-1. Both top laners dead now, but JJ wants to go still.
Blaze Olive getting the flash out. JJ taking a little bit of damage. Shrimps over the wall by himself. A little bit of trouble here. Not the throw they want. They got to focus on one target. The flash out after the assault coming in from Shrimp, but they still want the fight. They say, look how much mana Keen has. If we can keep them off the turrets, we can keep the damage flowing. And now they actually still somehow have a Blaze Olive outside the base. He can't even get home.
Good decision by them not to back away
yeah.
here. You have triple inhibs down. Super Creep's hitting a Nexus turret, so just keep chasing.
You're about to get those waves.
A Blaze Olive. They can't protect a Blaze Olive and their base.
Teleport coming in from No. He is not having any of this. Shady, great, and now Raleigh's about to go down inside the base. FlyQuest, double Baron steal against them, are able to turn it around, find the Nexus in their favor, and they move up in the standings and take down TSM Academy.
There you go, FlyQuest showing why they're the #1 team in the league. They don't need the first two Barons of the game to win.
Nope.
They had really good coordinated play the entire time. It's unfortunate that those Baron steals happen, but that can kind of happen to anybody. A little bit of questionable decision-making around them, but Greg playing it well, in combination kind of resulted in that.
Yep.
But they never really lost anything for that. They had control of the game the entire time. Maybe that stalled them out for a little bit, but they showed that they were the better team.
Definitely putting more stress on themselves than they needed throughout that game. Being a top team, if they do any of that during playoffs or against any of the top 4 teams, that it's going to be detrimental to lose that many Barons.
Yeah, you do that kind of stuff against more decisive and aggressive teams like a Team Liquid who are going to run it down your face with that. And as well as the fact that those timings didn't quite work out where they didn't have the banner of the commands quite set up to use those Barons that went over early for the side of TSM Academy. So, like we said, they're mostly stall-out Barons, and they were able to wave clear.
So looking at kind of the Shrimp and Keen in the mid lane, how do you kind of take FlyQuest into a picture if you're about to fight these guys? They still focus mid a little bit, but like we said, Keen has that champion pool. Even if you try to shrink it, he's going to have something.
Yeah, and you get to see the power of the Cassiopeia there. We're talking about, do games go late enough? And you see when Cassio hits 6 items, she's absolutely crazy in this game. Also, not too weak in the early game. Had a good job finding angles onto a Blaze Olive, just showing that he is the better mid laner. And Shrimp had a great game as well. A lot of focus up on the top side. Bot lanes were mostly going even, and then slowly advantages just kept accruing for FlyQuest.
So if you're a team that is getting Barons over Barons, but you're behind, what is kind of the best thing that you can do with that? Obviously, you have to repair things, but is there anything you can try to force from behind with that Baron?
Well, it was a bit of a strange game because they might not have thought they were going to get outscaled as hard as they were, but Cassio late game from that strong and that far ahead of the Rise, it felt like now that we have the Baron buff, we should be more aggressive with it. We should group up 5-man mid and threaten a dive. Who knows? Maybe it doesn't work, but just doing nothing with that temporary advantage that you find yourself with just means that later on they're going to reset the game and then they're going to force another objective. And once they cleaned up their macro play, you saw how quickly it ended that game. If FlyQuest were just a little cleaner prior to that, they would have won that game in 10 minutes faster.
Absolutely. Well, we'll jump back to some of those 10-minute, 16-minute replays here as we see FlyQuest starting to kind of build a lead in this game, and it happened down around the Dragon to start.
Like we're talking about some of these changes with less wards. They don't know Keen has roamed down. Him and Shrimp combine onto Mr. Raleigh early on, to Blaze Olive late on the follow, and then the bot lanes get involved as well. Able to find that kill. Blaze Olive has to flash in to get the trade kill, but that means he's going to go down as well. 3-for-1 early on for FlyQuest after fair amount of skirmishing around the top side of the map.
Absolutely. We saw laning phase not going too well either, but we had up to 16 minutes in the game. Oh, actually, that was the 16 minutes in the game. And then we had up to TSM hanging in, trying to get around Baron, doing what they can, and then Greg.
And this is one of those plays we say just don't hit the Baron anymore. Sure, it's ticking down a little bit, but it's 800. Just focus, Greg. He's almost dead. Why is that W going to Baron? Shrimp adds a little bit extra damage. Greg gets the smite, and then gets a little tick of damage to finish it off. This one, though, no luck, really. Greg times it perfectly to flash the Alistar headbutt from coming in, and get the smite off at the same time. Super clean steal, and the team had lost focus during that. They were so worried about him, they didn't realize, hey, Keen's dying on the front side. Their whole front line is worried about stopping the smite steal from coming in, that they don't protect their backside at all. And that was one of those moments where it's like, TSM, this is one of the best opportunities you're going to get. Go a little harder with it.
Yep, absolutely. FlyQuest solidifying the win with Elder Dragon. This fight, it was always back and forth. We saw the Dragon or the Baron being taken, and then we see a fight in mid, and then we see Baron being stole, and then we see this. And
this is, once again, a great play by them. Brandini lost his Mega Gnar form early on. They kite it out, then they re-engage on the Baron buff. And this time they play zoning duty correctly. JJ goes early to make sure he connects with that headbutt. Puts him pretty low, but it does secure them the Elder Dragon. And then with that Brandini and Gnar form, still trying to play frontline, dies just slightly faster than No. You saw how No was able to flash out. You have to think maybe if he was Gnar, he could have done the same.
So looking at TSM's composition, kind of what they keep putting towards the bot lane, I kind of want to focus on Raleigh because he still plays well from behind, but now teams are focusing him. He continues to just kind of be put on that Kog'Maw, whether choice or not. Obviously, the team's not going to be like, you're playing Kog'Maw, but the protection also isn't there. He's almost left up to himself as well in these fights where you have a Blaze Olive going forward on Rise, the tank's trying to initiate, and it's leaving him out to dry.
It does feel like there's a lack of focus around playing around him in the early game. There's so much action in the top side, so much action in the top river and in the mid lane that once they lost that portion of the map and Mr. Raleigh didn't really have like control over the game, it was like the Keen show. And that's the problem for TSM is they need to make it the Mr. Raleigh show earlier on by playing through him a little bit more. So Kog'Maw is not the most aggressive pick. Maybe they can find another way to get him to play aggressive in the lane, and then they can start playing through him and ganking it over and over.
I've seen some good advantages from that bot lane when you get him going, but I guess that could be the deal once everybody gets ahead.
Yeah.
TSM trying to find those wins as FlyQuest picks it up and moves up in the standings. Our final game is up next, so be sure to stick around and see if Golden Guardians can keep their playoff hopes alive against Echo Fox Academy. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. I feel like I said that. Actually may deliver him a kill if Brandini can get a few more locks down. No, the W and the E coming in from Shrimp hit true. There's the Arctic Assault over the wall. Team Keen going down as he's in the middle of the fight. Ablaze finds his target. How did he thread those Qs through? He'll finally go down. It actually put FlyQuest in a spot where they can fight over the wall. Fight without taking as much damage. The zap comes through, but it's a kill before, and Airy is getting excited now. Baron's down.
He got it!
Oh my God, Greek got it again! You gotta be kidding me! He flashes into the pit! No, he's not having any of this! Shady, Grit, and now Raleigh's about to go down inside the base.